have 4,116, and you can barely see it, but this shows for the last month I've made $83, so my last couple videos have helped a lot. That $83 includes, my channel members who pay me like $5 a month, and I have several right now. Let me run through them real quick, just because this is my journal for life. For the rest of my life, I'll be able to look back, like when I'm an old man, I'll know what I was doing on June 17th, 2023, and I'll know that the 3 channel members I have currently are Sarah Gibbs, Wayne. Sarah was my last member. She's been a member for 3 months. Wayne, who's been a member for 17 months. He was like my first subscriber. He wasn't like subscriber number 1 because one of my friends subscribed, and then I have my own channel and I subscribed to my own channel, but like he was the first person that I didn't know that subscribed. And then Karma Whispers ASMR. He's been a member for 17 months also. I have asked in prior videos for my channel members that they didn't have to do this anymore. This is something that YouTube does. I didn't invent this, but this is what YouTube does. And I've asked that, hey, nobody needs to support me this way, because I used to post like almost every single day, and it was a lot of work, and like I was probably making 10 cents an hour, if that. And so these people like help me out, but like, guys, I'm telling you again, Sarah, Wayne, and Karma, hey, you don't have to do this, but it is appreciated, and it's an honor to have you do this. Anyway, so that's how much money a channel like mine makes. So if you're ever curious, now you know. I also wanted to give you an update on Vivian, but before I do, I wanted to share this with you. This is a quote from Epictetus, and it says, you can only lose what you have. And it really, it really made me think. And the story, let me just get to the story of when he wrote that. His house was robbed, and he had a silver lamp that he loved, like an oil lamp, and it was stolen from him. And he thought for a moment like to get upset and to be angry, but in that moment he made the decision to take control of his emotions and say, no, I only was able to have that stolen because I was able to have it. And what he did was he went out and bought a cheaper version of that same lamp rather than replace it with an exact one, which he could have done. And it's just as interesting. He was one of the Stoic figures that we look back on in Greek times. But interestingly enough, I kind of related that when I was thinking that maybe I was going to lose Vivian, because there were some days there where I just didn't know, and it was scary. The survival rate of lepto is the short name for it. I've typed that thing so many times today, I can't believe I can't think of the name. Leptocirrhosis is what it's called, leptocirrhosis. And it's only 50%, the survivability rate is, so that it was a 50-50 chance that she might not make it. And so it really was scary. And but that saying really helped me, because I thought to myself, basically what you're doing is you're trying to be grateful for the item even if you lose it. And so relating, even though Vivian's alive, pictures of her. She's just been amazing, and she's helped my life so much. So again, that theory that I can only lose her because I have her, and I have had her, and it really, it helps me be grateful. It helps give me that attitude of gratitude, and it helped me to deal with the thought of possibly losing her. But luckily, I didn't have to lose her. I was able to save her. I didn't personally do it, but I was able to get her the care that she needed. And I'm grateful that care like that exists, even though it's unbelievably expensive here in America, and I'm going to share that with you as well. So what I'm going to do is I made for my other channel, I made a video about basically just warning other people about leptospirosis. And that way, if say for example, like I did when I found out this is probably what she had, I looked online, it was like looking and seeing what happens and what are the odds of survival. But I thought if somebody stumbles across this dog video, maybe they, it might help them if their dog has it, and to be able to see my dog survive. And if you catch it early, it's a lot better odds. So, anyway, I am just gonna play through the video, and as I watch it, I'm just gonna narrate it, because obviously I'm not gonna have the same audio because I didn't whisper in that video. On my other channel, I actually spoke, but I want to whisper basically the same thing, kind of just describing the video. It's not very long, it's just a couple minutes long. Let me get it pulled up here, and sorry for the clicks. Let me make sure my volume is off so I don't have to hear it. There we go. Okay, so I was able to get some footage of Vivian while she was in the hospital, and she had a feeding tube, and she had, gosh, I'm drawing a blank on the name again, a catheter to collect her urine, because with lepto, it can be spread through urine, and that's how mice give it. So they have to collect her urine with a catheter. This was me bringing in some chicken breast for her, and she was eating it, even though she had a feeding tube. She was eating the chicken, and I made sure, with the vets that it would be okay. They didn't think she would eat because she hadn't been eating, but you can see she cleaned out that whole container. So, yeah, she's lost some weight. Each one of her legs, they had hooked up to her veins to give her IV fluids, but each time the vein would give out, so they'd have to go to a different leg, and eventually they ended up on her neck, and that yellow thing underneath her collar on her neck is actually, there's an IV in her neck vein. And when I got her home, when I picked her up, that thing was off, obviously, because they took all of her, you can see the feeding tube going through her nose. Anyway, they took off all the wires and tubes out of her, and anyway, she has some sores still, but this, as you can see, she went in on June 5th. This is the actual bill that I got, and so every single charge is itemized. You can see 1 of 8 pages. That's the 6th and 7th is on this page, and then the 8th, so she was in there till the 12th. She was in there for 9 days, or 7 days. I don't remember. You'll see at the end. I forget. No, it was till the had her IV hooked up in her neck after all her leg veins kind of gave out. But she is so much better today. So this was about an hour after I brought her home, and she's still just kind of just knocked. She's just tired from all the medication and all the trauma of enduring the madness of that stay. She's never been in a cage. She's never been in a crate. I have that dog door where she can come and go, and so it's just she was just invalid for so long, and so yeah, it just was an unbelievable ordeal to go through. I don't wish it on anybody, but it's really kind of the experience of like going in there every day to see her. This is like a emergency hospital that has specialists, and I would be in there. It's not like whenever I would go in to see her, it isn't like I just walked to her room. I had to walk in, and there's a big lobby, and I would check in with the receptionists where you pay your bill and ask questions and stuff. So I would say, hey, I'm here to visit Vivian, and they would call back to the treatment room and say, hey, Vivian's dad is here to see her, and then they would hang up, and she would say, okay, they'll be up to get you when they're ready. And sometimes I would wait like 20 or 30 minutes, because if they were in the middle of, say, an emergency with another dog, Vivian's just in that same area in a kind of like in what you saw, like her little cell, basically. But when I would be sitting there, I watched several people like get the quote of what it would take to fix their animal, and them have to say, we can't afford it, we have to just put her down, and then they would get the quote for euthanasia. And just watching people have to make that decision because of financial reasons, it's just like, it's really sad. And I feel blessed that I was able to pay the bill, but I also think, like, with that kind of money, how many pearls could I have saved? That's like, I don't know, I just, it's just got my wheels spinning of how messed up this system is, because we can save all the animals. It's not because we can't save them, it's because the money can't be paid. And like this place I go to, it's privately owned. They can't be expected to do work for free. So I understand that, and I know like the equipment and the employees and the building itself and all that goes into running a business, it is expensive. I'm not complaining like this place ripped me off. It's just the cost of things are so unbelievable right now, and they've went up so high. So I mentioned that the girl I live with is a veterinarian, and she's actually a horse vet, but she spent several years in small animals, which is dogs and cats basically. In fact, when I met her, she was at a small animal clinic. She was doing taking care of dogs and cats, and she did not work at an emergency place like this or a specialty center. She just worked at a traditional vet clinic. But she was a surgeon as well, and she would spay and neuter, and if your dog swallowed something, she would open them up and get it out and sew them back up and that type of stuff. So she's a true surgeon. Remove teeth, all of the things that vets have to do, which, in my opinion, vets have to learn a whole lot more than actual human doctors, because human doctors just learn the human body. And they usually just specialize on like a hand and foot doctor or an ear, nose, and throat doctor. But when you think about a vet, they have to do the whole animal's body, whatever it needs, whether it's a dental, whether it's a spay or neuter, or invasive surgery. They have to know the whole entire body, and they have to know multiple species, and each species facilities, they would refer out to this exact hospital. So she knew this specialists that worked there, and I basically paid what one of their employees would pay. So that's like an employee price at $15.4, whatever it was. But the regular person up the street would have paid $22.5, and again, that was without surgery. It just boggles my mind. And I just think there's not very many people that could afford to do that with a dog. You know, so many people have animals, but I don't think people even know what that kind of thing costs anymore. And a lot of people would have to make the decision to put them down. But what is the answer? You know, how do we fix it? How do we get to a world? Because then I hear about places like Canada where they have socialized medicine, and like there's 6-month waits for certain surgeries. And you know, like in a situation like this, I don't know that they would have had the capacity if they're working on if they're saving everything. Could they have saved Vivian? I don't know. You know, I just don't know. Sometimes I think, you know, this system that we've come up with is obviously it's accomplished more than any other civilization in the history of mankind has. So it's pretty darn good, but it's like, I know things will never be perfect. We're constantly like shifting and making changes, and hopefully most of those changes are improvements, but I just don't know what it is. But my wheels are spinning now, thinking like, oh my God, one of the things that I have thought about like changing is, you know, I've been for the last probably 15 years, I've been a part of the Animal Protection League in the bordering county to the county I live in. It's because the county I grew up in, it's a more depressed area. I grew up in a really poor town, and I've been a part of that Animal Protection League because there's so many unwanted dogs and cats there, and whenever I give money, that's the charity. It's a not-for-profit, and so that's where I give money. And I give a lot of money there, at least a lot in comparison to what most people give to charity. It's a lot to me, but I think like one of the changes, because I just feel like it's like until we can make a difference with the people, the community, it's just like a revolving door. You adopt out 5 animals in a day and 7 come in. I mean, it's just unbelievable, and it's a horrible place. And sometimes I think the dogs would be better off euthanized because they get adopted and the people bring them back and say, nah, he's not house trained, or oh, this and that. And it's like, it makes me so angry with people that they don't have the patience to work with the dogs. And so what I thought, like as I was sitting there watching these people having to let their animals die because they couldn't afford to get them fixed, I thought, you know, maybe what I should do with the money I want to donate each year is, instead of feeling like I'm just wasting it, I could like give a place like that money and say, if you get somebody that comes through, you know, with a dog like mine, for example, just say, hey, look, I'll take specific breeds only because I can't save everybody. So I pick the cases that I know where the animal has an amazing home already and it's being loved and cared for, but all they need is money to save the dog's life, and then let the dog get well, and it will go back to having a wonderful life, you know, rather than just dying. So I think maybe I might switch to doing that, because I'll at least know, and I'll like have a story, and I'll have an example of what my money has actually done, what I actually accomplished with it, you know. And where right now, I just give it to the facility, and like it's like they can barely pay payroll, you know. It's like it's a horrible thing. I don't know. It's just, there's so much pain in the world, you know. And with animals, it's like so many people just look at them as just animals, you know. saying she's